Even though free agents officially opens on Wednesday, teams across the NFL wasted no time making calls, discussing contracts, and preparing deals that could reshape their roster for the upcoming season. For the Cowboys, the first day of the negotiation already brought major headlines. Dallas made a splash by signing veteran safety, completing, completing an important trade for the pass rusher and showing strong interest in several other top defensive players. Fans of the Cowboys know that team had several important needs on the defense. During the last season, the defense has had moments of the strong performance, but there were also areas that clearly needed improvements. The secondary needs leadership. The linebacker group needed depth, and pass rush needed additional power. Because of that, the Cowboys entered the free agents period with a clear goal: improve defense and help the team to compete for the championship. One of the first big moves the Cowboys made was signing veteran safety Jaren Thompson, who previously played for the Arizona Cardinals. Dallas agreed to the 3 year contract worth of the $36 million with Thompson. This move immediately addressed one of the biggest weaknesses of the team. Thompson is 27 years old and has spent his entire professional career in Arizona. Over the years, he developed into one of the most reliable safeties in the league. During the most recent season, he recorded 95 tackles, showing his ability to contribute both in coverage and in run defense. In 2023 season, Thompson also intercepted 4 passes, demonstrating his ability to create turnovers and changing the momentum of the games. For the Cowboys, adding a player like Thompson is extremely valuable. The secondary has needed a strong communicator, someone who can organize the defense and make sure every player understands their responsibility before the ball is snapped. Thompson brings exactly that kind of the leadership. The Cowboys believe Thompson can play multiple roles in their defensive system. With arrival of new defensive coordinator Christian Parker, the team is rebuilding and building a defensive strategy that requires versatility players who can adapt to the different situations. Thompson fits that vision perfectly. Another reason Cowboys like Thompson is his familiarity with members of the coaching staff. The team new cornerbacks coach Ryan Smith has previously worked with Thompson and understands how to use his strengths effectively. That connection could help Thompson to adjust quickly to his new team. While Thompson was the first official free agent signing, he might not be the last major defensive addition for the Dallas. One player's mostly strongly connected to the Cowboys right now is linebacker Nakobe Dean from the Philadelphia Eagles. Nakobe Dean has been generating to a lot of buzz around the league. Reports indicate that the Eagles have allowed him to explore free agents and see what offers he receives from other teams. If he does not receive a strong enough offer, he could return to the Philadelphia. But many analysts believe the Cowboys are preparing to make a serious attempt to sign him. Nakobe Dean is only 25 years old and has shown impressive potential during his career when he is healthy. He is known for his speed, tackling ability, and strong instincts on the field. However, there is one concern surrounding Dean. Injuries of Dean is another issue. Last season, he missed the first half of the year because of the injury. Since entering to the NFL in 2022, he has not yet completed a full season. Despite of those health concerns, Dean has still been very productive whenever he has been on the field. during the second half of the last season. He played at a higher level and reminded everyone why he was once considered one of the most promising young linebackers in football. For Dallas, signing Dean would add much needed energy to linebacker group, but Cowboys have also made another major move that is already creating debate among of the fans and analysts. Early in the offense of season, Dallas completed a trade for edge rusher Rashan Gary from the Green Bay Packers. The Cowboys sent a fourth-round draft pick in the 2027 in NFL draft to acquire Gary. Gary has played 7 seasons in the National Football League (NFL) and was once considered one of the most dangerous pass rushers in the league. Early in his career, he consistently pressured the quarterbacks and helped anchor to Packers' defensive line. Unfortunately, his career changed after he suffered a serious knee injury in 2022 when he tore his anterior cruciate ligament (UCL). Since that injury, Gary has not quite returned to the same level of dominance he once displayed. Because of that, Packers were reportedly considering releasing him in order to save $19.5 million in salary cap space. Instead of cutting him, they were able to trade him to Dallas and receive a draft pick. For the Cowboys, trade represents gamble. If Gary can return to his previous form, he could become a powerful weapon in pass rush. However, there is also financial risk involvement. Rashan Gary carries a large contract worth approximately $219 million. That contract pushed the Cowboys over the salary cap limits, which means the team now needs to make additional financial adjustments in order to remain compliant with the league rules. Salary cap management is one of the most complicated aspects of the running NFL teams. Every team must carefully balance players' contracts while staying within the financial limits established by the league. The Cowboys front office will likely to restructure contracts or release certain players in order to create more cap space. Not everyone believes the Gary trade was a good decision. Some analysts gave Cowboys a low grade for the move, while praising the Packers for receiving valuable draft picks. However, the Cowboys clearly believe Gary still has a potential to be a difference maker. Meanwhile, Dallas is also taking care of its own players. A team recently pressed second-round tender on kicker Brandon Aubrey. This tender is essential the first step in negotiating a long-term contract. Under a terms of tender, Aubrey will play upcoming season on a one-year deal worth of the $5,760,000. If another team attempts to sign Aubrey with high offer, Cowboys will have 1 week to decide whether to match the offer. If they choose not to match it, the team that signs Aubrey would have to give Dallas second-round draft pick. The Cowboys appear interested in keeping Aubrey for long term. Reports suggest Dallas is offering around $7 million per year, while Aubrey is hoping for closer to $10 million per year. Another major story for the Cowboys involved the superstar pass rusher Max Crosby. Crosby was one of the biggest names available on the trade market. Several teams were interested in acquiring him, including Dallas. Cowboys reportedly offered the first-round draft pick and second-round draft pick to attempt to bring Crosby to Texas. However, Baltimore Ravens ultimately won the bidding war by offering 2 first-round draft picks. That price was simply too high for the Dallas. Some reports also suggest that Cowboys defensive tackle Osa Odingizua could have been included in the trade, but Dallas decided not to go that far. After missing out on Crosby, Cowboys may now turn their attention to another elite pass rusher, Trey Hendrickson of the Bengals. Hendrickson has been one of the most productive sacks leaders in NFL in recent season. Bengals decided not to place franchise tag on him, which means he's now one of the top free agents available. Signing Hendrickson would give Cowboys a truly dangerous pass rushing duo. Interestingly, former Bengals star wide receiver Chad Johnson, also known as Ochochico, recently posted on social media that he believes Hendrickson will eventually join the Cowboys. However, not everyone agrees. Some analysts believe Dallas removed itself from Hendrickson's list after acquiring Rashan Gary and his expensive contract. Ultimately, the Cowboys front office still has several difficult decisions to make in coming days. They must manage the salary cap, evaluate free agents' opportunities, and decide how aggressively they want to be in building the championship level defense. One thing is certain. Cowboys have already started this offseason with bold moves and big ambitions. In free agents officially begins, fans across NFL will be watching closely to see what Dallas does next. Will the Cowboys sign another star defender? Will they find a way to bring Trey Hendrickson to Dallas? Or will they focus on developing players already on the roster? Only time will tell. But one thing, sometime the Cowboys also completed another trade involving Solomon Thomas. He is heading to Tennessee Titans. That deals involved swap of the 7th round picks, meaning the Cowboys will now pick number 218 instead of the number 225. These trades are part of the much bigger plan for the Dallas Cowboys. Early in the offseason, the team had already made major changes to their defensive tackle position. They traded to acquire two elite players, Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams. Both players are known around the league as dominant defensive linemen who can completely change the way a defense performance. Because of this addition, the defensive tackle room in Dallas became very crowded. The Cowboys also signed another defensive tackle, Otito Ogbonia, to help strengthen the depth of the defensive line. In addition, young player Jay Toy continued to develop and improve his second season. This team also recently released Perion Winfrey, which showed that Cowboys were seriously about restructuring their defensive front. Let us talk first about Osa Odingzoa and his journey with the Cowboys. Dallas originally selected him in the 3rd round of the 2021 draft. He played college football at University of California in Los Angeles, where he became one of the top defensive players in the Pac-12 conference. During his college career, he earned first-team All-Pac-12 honors and showed impressive ability to disrupt offensive plays. When Osa Odingzoa entered in the NFL, he slowly developed into an important piece of the Cowboys defense. Every season he improved his production and became more comfortable at the professional level. His quickness and strength and effort made him a difficult challenge for the offensive lineman. One of his best seasons came when he recorded a career highs in several important defensive statistics. He finished that year with 4.5 sacks, 47 total tackles, and 23 quarterback hits. That last number was especially impressive because it was 10 more than his previous 3 best seasons in that category. His ability to pressure quarterbacks became one of the most reasons why the Cowboys valued him so much. Because of this, his development and performance, the Cowboys rewarded Osa Odingzoa with a new contract in March of the 2025. The extension was worth of the $80 million over 4 years. This contract showed that the organization believed he could remain as a key defensive player for many years. However, football situation can change every quickly. After signing that contract, the Cowboys began making even bigger changes to their defense. The team went through different defensive schemes and coaching adjustments. Osa had to adapt to different systems under multiple defensive coordinators, including one season under Mike Zimmer. Later, the Cowboys moved to another defensive system led by Matt Eberflus. Adjusting to new defensive philosophies can be challenging for any player, especially for defensive linemen who must understand different responsibility on every play. At the same time, the arrival of Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams created intense competition for playing time. Both of these players are known for elite interior defenders. Their places naturally changed the structure of the defensive line rotation. Before this factor, Osa Odingzoa production slowed slightly during the 2025 season. He continued working hard to find his role in the new defensive system, but ultimately decided to move in a different direction. Now he will get a fresh start with the San Francisco. The team has a strong defensive attention and has often built its success around a powerful defensive line. The change of the scenery may allow Odingzoa to rediscover his best form and become an important player again. Now let us discuss on Solomon Thomas and his time with the Dallas Cowboys. Thomas joined the team in a two-year contract, and his role was primarily as a rotational defensive tackle who could provide depth and experience. During the 2025 season, Solomon Thomas battled injury that limited his playing time. Injuries are always difficult for players because they interrupt momentum and development. Despite of those challenges, Thomas still showed flashes of the talents that once made him a high draft pick and peak early in his career. One interesting part of his trade is that Solomon Thomas will unite with the familiar coaching in Tennessee. The Titans' defensive staff includes Robert Saleh, a coach known for building aggressive and disciplined defenses. Even more importantly for Thomas, he will once again work with defensive line coach Aaron Whitcomb. This reunion is actually the third time in Thomas' career that he and Whitcomb will work together. Familiar coaching relationship can help players to feel comfortable and perform at high level. For the Tennessee Titans, Solomon Thomas provided experienced depth on the defensive line. Rotational players are extremely important during the NFL because defensive lineman takes